Namaste, Kusazampula. A very warm welcome to today's online session. Kindly let me know if I'm audible and visible. Well, having two devices is always helpful. Anyway, so once again I welcome you to this online session. We'll be having an instrumental class today. Today, as you can see, we have tabla once again. We'll be continuing a quick revision to what we had done in a previous session of instrumental class, and also we'll be learning some new lessons today. I'm reading your comments, so if please feel free to ask anything if you have any doubts, if you wish to ask regarding tabla. Let us start with three omkars first. I'm able to read your comments. I see there are a few new students also who have joined, and so coming to as a part of a revision to previous session of instrumental class, students, this is a quick revision. This is called tabla. A very popular instrument, a very traditional instrument of Indian classical music. In tabla, we have two parts. One is called daya, second is called baya. Daya, baya. The same thing if I would have played with the left hand, this would be called as daya and this would be called as baya. So the name of this instrument will not change, only with your right hand and left hand. Very importantly, I also told you about how it's made, how the creation of tabla came into existence, and later I also added that in whichever way, how many categories, how many genres it has been used very often. Just not only in classical music, but in light classical music, bhajans, ghazals, geet, or even most popular in film music. It's always been used. Then I also played and showed you some sounds, how it sounds like, and once again I'll do that for you. If I have to play anything like light, all these sounds, it produces with the use only with your both hands. With one hand, only certain sharper sound will come. But with the left hand, it can add the bass sound. So I see there are no new comments. We can go ahead. And yes, very important. The tabla can be tuned into all 12 pitches. Right from C to B, the entire octave can be tuned. It depends on the use, depends on what kind of pitch you need to play, and also very importantly, sometimes it also uses like a tal tarang. Now tal tarang can be a new word for few of you. For example, I'll be taking only with the daya, maybe some 5/4 pieces, and it will sound like all 5 different shrutis. So this is how, it's all about tabla, the structure of tabla. And I've also told you about, what these spaces are called, like the black one, the white one, the baddi, everyone shahi and all that, right? So I think we can go ahead and we can learn. Actually, it's a continuation of a last class, so we can keep on learning the same tal, which is teen tal. So I'm going to recite it first and then I'm going to play it. I'm reading your comments. If you wish to ask anything, kindly let me know. So let us recite on our hands first and then on the tabla. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this cycle will keep on going. Even if I am talking, even if I am eating, if I am driving, the tal will not be missed. So this is just the sense how you develop the tal. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now if I make a double of this, which is called the double speed, I'll be clapping twice in the same cycle. This is how it will go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, double. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. If I have to make 4 times of this speed, I'll be clapping on every matra, which is called every beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, double. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the different, basically very basic structure of the tal understanding. I'm sure many of you have already learned tabla in our previous offline sessions. I'm sure you all are able to connect this. And just over the same clapping method, the same understanding of 4 beats, double and the 4th speed, we'll be reciting some bols of tabla. So bols or the syllables of tabla is nothing but what we create the sound here, we'll be pronouncing it. For example, if I say, now this is called ta or na. Now if I have to say the same thing in the 4 beat and double speed and 4 speed, this is how I'll say. Na. Na. Double. Na. 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 Or ta. 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 If I have to make and add some more syllables, it will be very easier. Ta. Ti. Ta. Ta. Now if I add and again say the same pronunciations of the bols in my matras, this is how it will sound. Ta, ti, ta, ta, ti, ta, ta, ti, ta, ta, ti, ta. 4 double speed. Ta, ti, ta, 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 ta, ti, ta. The double 4 times of the speed would be so this is how whatever we are going to play on the tabla, we should be able to recite as well. It's not at all difficult. We just have to understand certain bols very carefully. So now let me play something on the tabla for you. Suppose if I say, let's say ta ta tit dha dha tit. Okay, ta ta tita, dha dha tita. So you can make out the first ta ta tita is a sharper sound, whereas the second half, which is dha dha tita, is a bass sound. So the same volume, the same tone should also come from the tabla. Ta ta tita. Once again, ta ta tita. If I say dha dha tita, it will not be. It has to have the bass sound. So, dha dha tita. So I'm using my left hand. I'm using the bass toner. Once again, ta ta tita, dha dha tita. If I reverse this, if I play it, dha dha tita, ta ta tita. Now let's make some combinations of it. Okay. Dha dha tit, ta ta tit, ta ta tit, dha dha tit, dha dha tit, ta ta tit, ta ta tit, dha dha tit. If I have to make more combinations, I can just go on by night itself. Okay. So these are the very simple understanding of the syllables, what you play and what you recite should always be the same. Obviously, there is a language, there is a bowl, there is a syllabus, there is a proper method of understanding the bowls of the tabla. We just cannot say some word in Hindi and come on, let's take out it from tabla. No, it's not possible. It has its own language, and we need to be in the frame of that language. But obviously, there are many very common syllables, very common, I should say, the language of tabla, which is used in more oftenly in film music, in light music, in semi-classical. You must have heard this very famous language of tabla. Yes, sir, I can make out. I have heard this tone. Sir, I think this was a song which I have heard this tabla in that film song, right? This is very common tone. Now, if I have to recite this in the language of tabla, it will not be. It will have a bowl. It will have some language, some syllable. So, that's it. So if you understand the bowls, if you understand the syllables of tabla, it becomes very easy for you. And believe me, it's not learning like a new language or something. It's very easy. It's just very common to you. It can be very easily understandable to you. Okay, so I'm reading your comments. If you find any doubt, if you wish to ask anything, kindly let me know. I'll be happy to answer it. Okay, so we can just go ahead. Now coming back to the lehra point. Now, what is a lehra? I think in last session also I could explain you. Once again, I'm going to give you the definition of lehra. Lehra is nothing but just a cycle of beats. Okay, it's also called nagma. The same cycle of beats or the same music, if gets repeated, starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, if it continuously comes and keep repeating in a cycle, it does not go sometimes 9, it does not come to 7, it will be always on 8. This is called a lehra. Now this becomes a foundation on which every tal can be played, a improvisation can be made, a creativity of your playing of some syllables can always be made. Now I'm going to play a lehra for you to understand how it sounds like, and then I'm going to play also something so that you can correlate. So you will make out the same tone is going on, the same music is being getting repeated. Now let me count and tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1. So now I think you have understood that this is a cycle of 16 beats, a cycle of 16 matras. So after that 16th matra, the same first matra comes, and also the music will be repeated. 1, 2, let me play something on the tabla and show you the 16 beats. So now the bowls which I am playing does not sound like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It has some bowls, it has some language. So now I am going to play the language for you. Also I will be reciting so that you can understand the both. Dha, dhin, dhin, dha, dha, dhin, dhin, dha, dha, dhin, dhin, dha. Da, din, din, again, da, da, din, din, da, da, din, din, da, da, din, din, da, da, din, din, da. Repetitions, da, din, din. So, whatever you play, whatever you improvise, your tal should not be deviated. Now remember, I told you to make it double. This is how it will sound. Same bowls, same syllabus, but with a double speed. Listen again. Making 4 times of the speed. The first speed which was going on was this was the first speed. Coming to second speed, coming to fourth speed, called lehra. This is how you actually differentiate the laya, different kinds of speeds. Laya is nothing but just the speed. So first laya, second laya, third laya, fourth laya. This is how you differentiate and this is how you practice with the lehra. And obviously as fast as you can, as fast as you are able to make it, you can just go ahead, okay? So after the fourth speed, this was the fourth speed, I can also go to the eighth speed. It's not about me, I'm saying we can go. We have this freedom, we have this liberty to go and try out the new speed. So it's not something that you have to strict up to that certain speed, whatever I tell you. No, if you are able to make it, kindly go ahead. But if you are not able to make it, you need to understand the syllables first, to make sure the pronunciations should come first very properly, and then only you go forward. So this is the 4th speed. Let's try the 8th speed also. As I said, it was just to show you, it was not about my talent, it was just to show you that we can always go and experiment the different speeds as well, but only when you have the perfection. If you do not have the perfection, I would always recommend not to go beyond any basic level, which is the 1st layer or the 2nd layer. Let me have your comments if you have any doubts. So it's just me here, no one. It's all right. I'm sure very soon you all will be coming to the offline classes. Very soon we are going to start our offline classes in a full-fledged way, so that this place at present where we are having these online sessions under the ICCR of Nehru Vanchuk Cultural Center, I'm sure you all will be enjoying. We have plenty of instruments with us. We have plenty of different kinds of facilities for you. I'm sure you all will be enjoying it once you join here. So the homework for today's session will always be the quick revision of whatever I have said today. Understanding of tabla, understanding of laya, understanding of tal. I also mentioned about listening some great legends of tabla on YouTube, so kindly go through whatever social platforms you are able to go through. So kindly be useful to those kind of listening. You should listen to as much as classical music as you can, and especially now today onwards, you should listen to tabla recordings as well. So that's it. Wish you all the very best, and see you tomorrow with the continuation of tabla. And from next week, Monday, we'll be taking a new instrument as well. Let's see which instrument comes to me. There are a few students who are messaging me, so I'm sure we can select one of those instruments, and then we can start it from Monday as well. So all the best, take care, wish you all best, Kadin Chala.